Throughout the history of nations, there have been moments when their downfall appeared unavoidable. In the early 7th century CE, one of the world's most powerful states, the Eastern Roman Byzantine Empire, stood on the verge of complete collapse as its arch nemesis, the Persian Sasanian Empire, secured a succession of decisive victories. Between 613 and 619 CE, the Persian armies advanced relentlessly through the Levant, seizing ancient cities such as Antioch and Damascus. In 614, Jerusalem fell, a catastrophe that profoundly shook the Christian world. The Persians then pressed forward, occupying Egypt, the economic lifeline of the empire, and advanced to the very walls of Constantinople. Byzantine was steadily losing its territories, its armies, and its resources, and it appeared that the empire's end was imminent. Amid this atmosphere of profound despair, in the distant city of Mecca, verses of the Qur'an were revealed concerning this global conflict. Yet these verses contain a prophecy that, at that time, appeared entirely impossible and utterly inconceivable. In Surah Ar-Rum, Allah the Exalted declares, Alif Lam Mim, the Byzantines have been defeated in the nearest land, but they, after their defeat, will overcome within 3 to 9 years. Let us consider this astonishing prophecy. The Byzantines have been defeated, a declaration recognizing the overwhelming defeat that captivated the attention of the world. In the nearest land, this expression carries two possible interpretations, each of which is miraculous. The first is the nearest land, referring to the Byzantine territories closest to the Arabian Peninsula, namely the region of the Levant and Palestine, a prophecy that was indeed fulfilled. The second interpretation for the same phrase, identified in more recent times, is the lowest land. في أدنى الأرض, the lowest land. The lowest land here means the area where the decisive battles occurred around the basin of the Dead Sea is in fact the lowest point on the Earth's land surface at a depth of about 430 meters below sea level. So ponder and think about this prophecy from the Prophet ﷺ. How could he know this fact that was discovered many centuries after him? The most striking aspect of this prophecy lies in its central declaration. But they, after their defeat, will overcome within 3 to 9 years. In the Arabic language, the expression بضع سنين that Allah used in the Qur'an denotes a span ranging from 3 to 9 years. In Mecca, these verses were met with ridicule and mockery by the polytheists, who regarded the Persian victory, given that the Persians were idolaters like themselves. It was considered at that time as a sign foreshadowing their own triumph over the Muslims. Conversely, the Muslims were distressed by the Romans' defeat, as the Byzantines were people of the book, akin to themselves. At the time, the Quranic prophecy seemed so implausible that some of the polytheists at that time even entered into a wager with a companion, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh, insisting that it would never be fulfilled. History attests to the unfolding of subsequent events. In 622, following a succession of defeats, Emperor Heracles successively restructured his depleted army and launched a daring counter-offensive. Personally leading his army, he conducted a masterful military campaign, achieving successive victories over the Persians within their own lands. Within a few years, the balance of power shifted dramatically. In 627, the Byzantines secured a decisive victory at the Battle of Nineveh. By 628, less than 9 years after their devastating defeat, the Byzantines had not only prevailed, but the Persian Empire itself had collapsed into civil war. The prophecy was realized in every detail. An initial defeat followed by a decisive victory, accomplished within a precisely defined period and in a geographical location notable for its dual significance. Let us pause to reflect. How could any human assessment in the year 615 have foreseen such an astonishing turnaround? Every indication suggested the imminent collapse of the Byzantine This was not a political forecast, but rather a proclamation that stood in a complete defiance of the prevailing logic of the time. It stands as an undeniable historical testimony, a testimony that the one who revealed this Qur'an is the very one to whom the command belongs, before and after. He is the one who ordains the rise and decline of nations and empires, disclosing glimpses of his knowledge of the unseen as a sign for those who sincerely seek the truth. It is the promise of Allah. Allah does not fail in his promise, but most of the people don't know. This is how Allah closed the verses of Surah Ar-Rum, in which he mentioned the collapse of this empire and the victory of that empire. How could a prophet in that time know this fact? There is only one answer for this question, that this Qur'an is only revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all the humanity.
Salam Center for Advocacy and Dialogue.